when we did about Vishnu, we talked about how he takes incarnation. Let's see that a bit first. Then we start the Narasimha avatar today. So if we have to say the word Vishnu means all-pervasive, the one who lives everywhere, dwells everywhere, who is omnipresent. And not to forget, he is the second member of the Trimurti, which we call the Trinity. And he is the preserver. Brahma being the creator, Vishnu being the preserver, and Shiv being the destroyer. And of course, we have a sect by his name, which is Vaishnavism. Now, he is a protector, so it is his duty to take incarnation. Despite the fact that other gods, like Shiv, for example, he has also taken incarnations, right? But his Shiv power incarnation usually say only for destruction. For example, Virbhadra, right? So he comes and destroy and he leaves. But as for Vishnu, when he comes on earth, partly when he came as animals, right? He came just to do his mission and then he left. But his other incarnations, we have seen his life, right? Where he comes to protect. So avatar means to descend on earth. We come on earth, we descend. So God comes on earth, avatar meaning to descend. And why does he come? For what purpose? We have two objectives of avatarhood. Why God takes incarnation? What is the purpose of incarnation? There can be a question like this, especially in the God section, the section Écoutez gods. Bon, li probable aussi qu'il nous gagne côté dans une question avatar, right? There can be a question, what is the purpose of God taking incarnation? What is the purpose of avatar, right? So it is always God comes on earth for two objectives. Premièrement, c'est to set example. He doesn't come here, Vishnu doesn't come here, divinity destroys it too. No, he sets examples. He shows us the right path, and in doing so, at times he has to eliminate the devils, or he has to kill the demons, like Krishna killed Kans and all, right? But his main purpose is to set example, right? So this is about avatar. We have to know the meaning of, right, and who actually takes majority of the incarnation. With that, we start Narasimha. I'll send you this one later. So the Narasimha avatar, Nara means half man, Nara means man, Simha means lion. So in this incarnation, he is half man, half lion, right? And as we know, he has come to protect Prahalad as well as to destroy the other one, his father, Hiranyakashipu. So to bear in mind, we have 10 avatars of Vishnu, 10 incarnations. Matsya, the fish, Kurma, the tortoise, Varha, the boar, Narasimha, who is the fourth incarnation. Then we have Vaman. Then we have Parshuram, Ram, Krishna, Buddha, and Kalki. So you see, he comes as animals, Matsya, Kurma, Varha, and here half animal, half lion. And here he comes as an incomplete human. Incomplete in the sense he is a dwarf, right? He doesn't have a full, well-developed body. He's a dwarf. And then here he comes as a complete human, Parshuram, and then Ram, Krishna, and all. So we see the evolution Et aussi, c'est nous comment on est supposé évoluer, progresser as well, right? So let's see the story of Hiranyakashipu. So there was a sage whose name was Kashyap and Diti, all right? Diti was the wife, of course. So Hiranyakashipu was the son of sage Kashyap and Diti, right? If you'll see in our books, in the Purans, there were two names, Diti and Aditi, right? So Diti, her sons, they are actually the demons, and Aditi, her sons are the gods, right? So Hiranyakashipu was one of the sons of Kashyap, sage Kashyap, and Diti. Hiranyakashipu's elder brother was Hiranyaksh, who was killed by the bow. The bow avatar came known to protect the planet Earth, and the boar, the Varha, killed Hiranyaksh, right? So they were brothers, Hiranyaksh and Hiranyakashipu. So when Hiranyaksh was killed by the Varha incarnation, Hiranyakashipu, of course, did not like it. His brother was killed by Vishnu. So he was angry and he wanted to avenge the death of his brother, right? He wanted to avenge Vishnu. So then he decided it's not an easy thing, Vishnu being the greatest one, right? It's not an easy thing to defeat Vishnu. Actually, it's not possible itself, right? Then what he did, Hiranyakashipu, he went to meditate, right? He was meditating. While doing meditate, after his meditation, of course, he got boons, blessings, right? So when he was doing his meditation, his army, his soldiers, his army was disturbing the fire sacrifices of sages. Comme s'il travaillait de l'autre côté, il peut continuer to disturb those sages. Why was the soldiers disturbing the sages? Parce que Hiranyakashipu did not want anyone to worship Vishnu. He has to kill Vishnu. He had to show that he is the greatest one. He is the Almighty. He had to prove that as well. So his army was disturbing plutôt, the fire sacrifices of the sages. So he meditated, he worshipped Brahma, and he was blessed with a well-planned boon. Of course, as you have seen maybe in movies, they ask for boon and all. What was the boon? Malgré qu'il y well-planned boon, but there's always a way out of everything, no? So he said that this is his boon. Let me not meet death from any living entities created by you. That is, O Lord Brahma, none of your creation, none of your living entity can harm me, can kill me. Grant me that I not die within any residence. So they are not inside the house, no outside, not during the daytime and not at night, no on the ground or in the sky. That was his planned boon. Grant me that my death not be brought by any being other than those created by you, no by weapon, no by any human being or animal. Grant me that I do not meet death from any entity, living or non-living. Grant me further that I may not be killed by any demigod or demon. Right? Give me sole lordship over all entities, presiding deities. He wanted to take authority, lordship, and give me all the glories obtained by that position. He wanted to prove himself greater than Vishnu. He wanted lordship over everyone, even the deities, right? So his boon was like that, not to be killed by any weapon, any human, any creation of, yes. So yes, that was the boon. So you should know the boon as well. There can be a question like, what was the boon asked by him? That is also a possibility to have such a question. And not to be, he won't be dead, he won't be killed, or he won't die in or outside residence, daytime, no night, no on the ground or sky, no weapon, no human being or animal, right? So finally, then the best option as per Vishnu was to take the Narasimha avatar to destroy him. Well, the thing we learn here, the lesson we can learn from here, he has spent his time in meditation, which is a very good thing. He was a devotee finalmente, right? He believed in God, but just that he had an enmity with Vishnu, particularly because Vishnu was the killer of his brother. So he believed in God, he did meditation, and he got powers. He was granted boons, he got blessings of God. But the thing is, when we misuse whatever we have, we are going to lose everything, right? And malgré qu'il tienne and well-planned boon, as according to him, this was a well-planned boon, but we can't be more intelligent than God, right? We can't be more wise than God, wiser than God. So he wanted authority and he got all authorities because that was his boon, right? Now, meanwhile, when he was in meditation and all, meanwhile, what was happening on the other side in his palace, there was Indra, who is the demigod, I told you, the god of heaven. He's the god of heaven. He captured Kayadu. Kayadu is the wife of Hiranyakashipu. And at that time, when Indra captured Kayadu, Kayadu was pregnant. Kayadu was a very pious lady, though her husband was a demon, kind of, right? She was very pious. And she was being taken care by Narad himself. Okay, so maybe you can say this is a plan of God. This is the divine plan of God, maybe. So you get, the other side of the coin. Of course, capturing a lady is not a correct thing, but she was not captured like to do something wrong with her, right? She was taken care by Narad, sage Narad himself. And of course, we know that child was himself Prahlad. So when Hiranyakashipu learned about this, that Narad took care of Kayadu, he showed respect, he thanked, he showed gratitude towards Narad for his hospitality. So we see he was not a bad person. Nutunukumsa actually. He was not a bad person. He had values in him. But yes, a little problem went there that he could not digest that his brother was killed by Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu continued his atrocities on the sages and the virtuous people. And Prahlad was growing, right? He grew up, he went to Gurukul, he went to the Gurukul of Shukracharya. Shukracharya is the guru of the demons. To ban demons kinina and study under the guidance of Shukracharya. And Prahlad, despite that he learned under the guidance of Shukracharya, he became a great devotee of Vishnu. And that was thanks to the mother, Kayadu. She was a pious lady. And of course, thanks to Narad. Because when she was leaving, Kayadu was living with Narad. Narad would always relate, tell her stories about the Puran, about the gods. He used to tell her about the virtuousness, what is dharma and all. So as we say, a fetus, a baby learn from the womb itself. So that is the example of Prahalad. So we see in the clan, in the demon clan, we had a child who is Prahalad, who is totally the contrary. He is not like his father, Hiranyakashipu. So Prahalad spread the message of the Bhagavad Puran, even to those from the demon clan. When he was studying in the Gurukul, Zutula Bala, they are from the demon clan, right? So he would tell everyone, especially those in the Gurukul also, even the gurus in the Gurukul, he would teach them the Bhagavad Puran. He would share the messages, the teachings of the Bhagavad Puran to them. He would say that Vishnu is all pervasive, is the first cause of creation. Is Vishnu, the God is the creator. And he also, at times, he would elaborate on the 9 forms of devotion as we have in the Ramayana, right? So let's see a few teachings by Prahalad, which he was usually teaching to people around him. Also to those students, to those disciples in the Gurukul, and of course to the gurus as well, right? So he would tell about Vishnu being the creator, the preserver, the destroyer. So he is the supreme one, and he is the one to be worshipped. Hiranyakashipu wanted people to worship him, right? But Prahalad would say that we need to worship Vishnu, who is God. And he would also refer to the human life, which is a great opportunity which we got among all the species of life. And we got the human life, and it is easier for us to reach the Supreme One. And the right efforts should be made to reach the Supreme. Those who do not wait for old age to indulge in spirituality are wise. Prahalad would teach people these things, that we need not wait to become old when it's time to retire and then we indulge in spirituality. But in fact, we should start it at a very young age, just like Prahalad himself. And he would also always recite the name of the Lord, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He was always reciting the name of the Lord, whether in times of happiness or sorrow. This is what the Bhagavad Gita has taught us, to always be taking the name of the Lord at any moment, any time, right? Which is known as constant worship, right? Constant praying, or constant japam, we can say that also, or constant recitation of the Lord. Le mot constant qui est important ici, constantly taking the name of God. And this is as per the scriptures, as per the sages, just taking the name of the Lord, doing japam, recitation of the name of the Lord. In Kali Yuga, we can reach the Supreme. But yes, that time was not Kali Yuga, but goodness was decreasing, dharma was decreasing. And this is what we learn from the sages. Just by taking the name of God, we can reach him. So Prahalad would teach these things to everyone around him. Now, the fact that Prahalad was a great devotee of Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu did not like this, did not appreciate this, and he did many attempts to kill his own son, right? Which make us think about the relationship between the father and the son. Usually, father is protective, not destructive. Kill the son. But in his arrogance and ego, and of course, he was living in illusion that he is the Almighty. So he did many attempts to kill Prahalad. For example, he was thrown from the mountain peak. He was trampled down by elephants. He was given poison. He was thrown in the ocean with big rock tied to his neck. He was placed among poisonous snakes. Even sharp weapons were used to kill him, but he did not die. Whenever he was in such a situation when they were trying to kill him, he would always be taking the name of Vishnu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You can mention that in your work as well, if needed, of course. So even Singhika, who is also known as Holika, even offered a help to her brother that she can help in killing Prahalad. Holika had the boon that she was immune to fire, means fire cannot burn her. But when she took Prahalad in her lap and she entered the burning fire, she died. She turned into ashes. Malgré she had a boon. That is what I was saying is when we have a boon, we have a blessing, we should not misuse it. When we misuse it, we lose it. So Prahalad was always taking the name of Lord Vishnu. Now the appearance of Narasimha. Despite all the attempts of killing Prahalad, Prahalad did not die. So Hiranyakashipu became more furious now. At any cost, he wanted to kill his son. He wanted to kill Vishnu, of course, right? And there was a conversation between the son and father. And the son said that Vishnu is all pervasive, as the name Vishnu itself says, means it is all pervasive. He is all pervasive. So then Hiranyakashipu told him that is your Vishnu present in the pillar? There was a pillar. Well, there were many pillars, of course. In one of the pillar, is your Vishnu present in this? So Prahalad said yes. The Vishnu is everywhere. Vishnu is also in the pillar. So Hiranyakashipu took his mace and he hit that mace on the pillar. He struck the pillar with that mace. And surprisingly, Vishnu came out of that pillar in the form of Narasimha. And Narasimha and Hiranyakashipu, they had a fight. Of course, the demon cannot win. So the wicked king was killed by his boon, as per his boon, right? His well-planned boon. He was not killed by a man, no an animal, because Narasimha was half man, half animal. At that time, it was not day, no night. Titanto, not day, no night. He was killed on the lap of Vishnu. C'est-à-dire, he was not killed in the sky, no on the ground. And he was killed by the claws, with the claws of Narasimha. There were no weapons used. So as per his boon, he was killed, right? So this is basically the whole story, right? Now we need to also take out the lessons of the story. Whenever you are writing in for the exams, especially the 10 marks question, whenever you are writing, it's not just being narrative, what happened, what he did and all, but we take lessons from everything. like I have been explaining since the beginning, like about the boon, how it was well planned, about Indra capturing Kayadu, how it is a wrong act, but it is a boon as well, a blessing in disguise, and all. So we should always be taking lessons from whatever we write. Right? Now, what are the lessons we learn? Premièrement, no one is immortal. We have come here, we will go. Whatever has been created must be destroyed. That is the law of nature, right? So Hiranyakashipu also must die. Hiranyaksha also died. Hiranyakashipu also must die. That is another thing, how we die. It is all based on our karma, right? So as per their karma, God incarnated to kill them and all. So no one is immune to death. We will die one day. The thing is, when we say we die, say only the body dies and not the atma, right? Death is inevitable for anyone, for everyone. Even when God takes incarnation, we don't say God dies, but when he takes incarnation in a particular form, at a point of time, he has to leave that body. He can't live forever in that body. Our Atma cannot live forever in this body. It will transmigrate, it will go to another body. Also, arrogance or bad qualities do not lead to God. Example, of course, is Hiranyakashipu. He had arrogance, he developed bad qualities despite being a devotee, despite being good in meditation. He was good in meditation, that's why Brahma gave him the boon. So, Brahma Patibudani boon. So he had that bhakti, that essence in him. And when we say Hiranyakashipu is from the demon clan, being born in a family, when you take birth in a family, we develop, we inherit certain qualities of the family. That is true, but not all the qualities of the family. Some of them we will inherit, but not all. So if ever we inherited certain things which are not correct, right? So we can rectify, we can remedy everything. So Hiranyakashipu had the opportunity. His wife Kayadu would always be explaining to him what is right, what is dharma, what is adharma, but he would never listen to anyone. Even his son gave him so many lessons, teachings, explanations about God, but he did not listen to anyone, right? So we can change ourselves. The thing is, we can change ourselves. So despite being born in a demon clan, that doesn't mean the person has to remain or stay as a demon. Il vient suivre comme si tradition là, the lineage. It's not that. If not, Prahalad would not have been born there. Maybe Prahalad would be maybe greater demon than his father. But Prahalad was a nice person. God is kind, God is generous. He always comes to protect us, that is his devotees, whenever we need him, right? In any form, he can come in any form to protect us. In this case, he came to protect Prahalad. And of course, when we say protect Prahalad, in the meantime, it's also like protecting other people, protecting the sages, protecting the virtuous people who are being tortured by Hiranyakashipu, right? So he came to uproot the evil from the society. And we can also take the example of Holika, of course, as we just said, when we misuse our power, what we get, right? And most important of everything, we need to have faith in God in whatever situation we are. Normally, conjure human nature and like whenever we are in problems, so we say, oh, God does not exist, God pardonne-moi this, pardonne-moi problem, and all. No. But the thing is, see, like Prahalad, he faced maybe the most difficult situations in his life when they were trying to kill him, but he never lose his faith in God. He was always taking the name of God, right?